Yeah, nah. Hey, welcome back. You're tuning in to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge, along with AKA
Slim Jimmy Timmy,
AKA
Open Public,
AKA
on Friday,
AKA
sometimes on Saturday,
AKA
Twitter Terror,
AKA.
Tiger.
Oh, look at you! They got back on the bike, young Cody. I think that Cody's corner brought it about you, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm back." That's how you feel. If you're feeling like a and gone, dust your shoulders off. That was my song. Yeah, back up all the way, like back up to the parking lot. I got this on my own, young Cody. Sports Talk with Big Sarge right here on Raise the Praise 100. Make sure you download the app at Raise the Praise 100 or listen to us on the RaiseThePraise100.com. It's Throwed-Off Tuesday. Before we went to the break, I told you, young Cody, we're going to talk about this Coach of the Year because we were talking about how the NBA is trying to force Luka Doncic down our throat like they tried to do Giannis. I'm saying to myself, listen, you keep trying to put Giannis in my face and you keep trying to put you keep putting Giannis in my face and you keep putting Luka in my face. Nah, I just want to see John Morant. Like, can I see a healthy Zion? What about that? Like, I don't care nothing about that. Steph, where's Steph at? LeBron retired? Look, KD healthy. I want to see KD. Trey, where to see Trey? Yeah, we know why you don't want to see Trey. We're going to get into that in just a second on why you don't want to see Trey. So, young Cody.
Yes.
The NBA gave out an award yesterday. Coach of the Year for 2020-2021 NBA season.
Yes.
Do you know who won that award?
Yes.
Who?
Tibbs.
Yes. The New York Knicks head coach, Tom Thibodeau. Right?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you before I go into my soliloquy, before I go into my diatribe, before I go into my, hey, what's that they call it when you got to present, when you're trying to get your doctor's degree? No, it's I can't think of the name of it right now. It's something, you got a dissertation. So before I go into my dissertation and my soliloquy and my diatribe, before I go into that, young Cody, do you think the NBA got it right by giving it to Tom Thibodeau?
Well, I think the NBA
Thibodeau.
I think they always get it wrong because I don't understand how you give me an award when the season is not over. Mm-hmm. How you give me an award when the season not over? How you give a coach of the year? You lose in the first round because of coaching.
Well, they said they give these awards out based on the regular season, and I can understand it. They give it out based on the regular season, not on the playoffs. I get it. I got it. Okay.
The playoffs are a whole quarter of the season, and the most important part of the season. So I don't understand. I mean, I would have given it to either Monty Williams or I would give it to Monty Williams
from the Phoenix Suns.
Yes, either Monty Williams or.
Say it. You don't want to say it because they play tonight.
Steve Nash.
First of all, timeout. Steve Nash isn't a coach.
Doc Rivers.
First of all, Steve Nash is a facilitator, which is the exact same thing that, listen, I don't know why people always get so mad at Steve Nash. Oh, he's not a coach. Yeah, well, Kyrie and KD told you they didn't need a coach. They Young Cody, am I lying? Did they or did they not say we don't need a coach?
Did you hear the mic'd up that Steve Nash gave?
No.
He pretty much is just like, come on, guys, we got it.
We're winning. I did. We're winning 50-50 balls. That's what he said, right? We're winning those 50-50 balls.
We're blowing them out. Let's keep doing that.
Because Kyrie and KD told them, we don't need a coach. We just need, listen, the NBA says we got to have somebody in the position of head coach. We just need somebody to call the timeouts. We need somebody to do the press conferences. We just need somebody because the NBA requires a head coach. We just need somebody to sit there in the first chair.
I do have to Steve Nash. I I thought they would be very ball, like ISO ball, but they do pass ball. So I give Steve Nash credit for that.
Is that Steve Nash? But is that Steve Nash, or is that just the way Harden, Kyrie, and KD plays?
It might be, but you got to do something. You got to pass around.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I'm going to get into who I think should have been Coach of the Year in just a second, right? Let's just say this.
I named all the coaches that I think.
Let's just say this. So, I'm trying to think. I can't think of his name, but the coach of the Sacramento Kings, could he sit in Steve Nash's chair as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets and do the exact same thing?
To that point, I'm going to say that Steve Kerr was out with like a back injury. His coach, Luke Walton, he went to Sacramento.
I didn't want to say Luke Walton's name, but since you did,
I'm just saying.
Terry Stotts just got fired.
Yes.
From the Portland Trailblazers, right?
Yeah.
Could he sit in that chair?
Maybe.
DeAndre Jordan is not getting any playing time right now, right? DeAndre Jordan not getting no playing time, right? If Steve Nash went out with a back injury, could they say, hey, DeAndre, you want to sit in that chair up there? Could he do it?
He just called timeouts when we need a blow.
Stand up and clap.
And argue for calls.
Yeah. Right? Right? High five KD when he comes down the court. That's it. Keep him happy.
Just throw your hands up like he's running the play. We all know the play. Right?
All right. All right, look, and if you have any frustration, if you're frustrated by anything that Kevin or Kyrie or James does, take it out on Brown. Cuss out Claxton. What's the little name? Mike James. Find Mike James. Cuss him out. Johnson. What's his name? The one that got big face. Yeah. Did you see him get big face last night at the end of the game? Anyway, like it don't matter. He tried to kick him too. He should have been called for a foul. But find Tyler Johnson. Like, Coach, I ain't even been in the game. Shut up. It's your fault. So, as I digress, young Cody, you said that now the NBA Coach of the Year was Tom Thibodeau, right, for the New York Knicks.
Right.
You said you would have given it to Monty Williams.
Yes.
I agree to a point. If we're arguing semantics, I'm giving it to Monty Williams, hands down. Okay. Way before I give it to Tibbs. Way before. But if we're not arguing semantics, Nate McMillan deserves that award, young Cody.
I do also. You know what? I wouldn't be mad with him either.
When Nate McMillan took over in March, right? Since he's taken over, well, when he first took over, they won 8 in a row. You know that, right? They went 26-11 when he coached since he took over as head coach. And if we're putting it all, we put it in totality, he's 31-12 since March. So I would have given it to him. And I'm pretty sure Monty Williams wouldn't have had an issue with that, even though Monty Williams deserves it. He deserves it. But I can make a strong case for Nate McMillan. And the reason why, young Cody, and the reason why I bring this up is because I put that out on Twitter. And I don't know, did you see the backlash that I got from that? There were guys that were saying that he shouldn't be because he didn't coach the whole year. Well, it's called Coach of the Year. And if he doesn't play, it's called Coach of the Year. And if he doesn't coach the entire year, then how should he get the award? Well, how did Blake Griffin and Ben Simmons get Rookie of the Year in their second year in the league? But I'm just saying, young Cody, if you're going to give the Rookie of the Year award, Rookie of the Year award to second-year players, then how come we can't change the parameters and the dynamics for Coach of the Year?
Of course. I missed 2 years.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, because was Joel Embiid in Rookie of the Year running when he came back? But he missed 2 years, right?
He was in the conversation, so
he would have gotten it his third year, right? So you see what I'm saying? So if we're going to change the parameters for that, then we should be able to change the parameters for Coach of the Year. So even though he only coached since March, so I'll put it like this: he coached 37 games, young Cody, 37 games of a 72-game season. So if you divide, if what's half the season. 2 can go into 7 3 times, 36 games. So he coached over half the season by 1 game. But still, we're not arguing semantics. You know, I mean, if we are, then I mean, young Cody, there's a young lady on TikTok that hates the English language because she said, "How can you make a whole word disappear and it still sound the same?" She said, "Look at this word. How do you say Kernel? How does wait, hold on. What? I am messing up TikTok because I'm trying to get it the right way. So Kernel is kernel, right?
Yeah.
So what is Colonel? You see what I'm saying? So just like she said, which letter is silent in this one? SCENT, right? How do you say that? CENT is. So which letter is silent? Okay. So right. KANSAS is what? KANSAS is what? SAS. Kansas. So what is ARKANSAS? COMB is comb, right? TOMB is what? Tomb.
That makes sense.
So you see what I'm saying? So we can make that make sense, and we can make 2 players that won Rookie of the Year in their second year. Then how come we can't make Nate McMillan Coach of the Year, young Cody? And not only that, the award that you gave for Coach of the Year to Tibbs, right, in New York, right? It's the equivalent to. Do you remember the time, young Cody? Hold on, I gotta get this on wax. Let me get this. Young Cody, do you remember the time that the NBA thought that they were slick and gave the MVP award to David Robinson when Hakeem Olajuwon deserved it? Do you remember when they presented David Robinson the award for MVP, NBA MVP, who was on the other end of the court? It was Hakeem Olajuwon. The day they gave David Robinson his MVP award, Hakeem Olajuwon was on the court looking like, bro, you've got to be kidding me. That's my award. Do you know that? Do you know in that series, right? In that series, Hakeem Olajuwon averaged 35 points a game against David Robinson. Destroyed him. Young Cody, look, stats, eye test, it didn't even matter. Listen, Cody, let me tell you something. They needed all of the Spurs. They needed Shamu from SeaWorld. They needed to go down to the Army base down to Fort Sam and get some players over there. They needed to go wherever they needed to go. They needed to go to the surrounding cities to get everybody to try to stop Hakeem because Hakeem was killing him. He averaged 35. Yo, Cody, you ever see that highlight where Hakeem go and he fakes and then he comes back in and just finger rolls it? He fakes Hakeem's award to David Robinson in front of him, right? That's the exact same way I feel about the NBA giving Coach of the Year to Tom Thibodeau in front of Nate McMillan. He's like, you've got to be kidding me. I literally swept these guys. Yeah, Cody, if it hadn't been for one game that the Atlanta Hawks slipped and let them come back, they would have swept the Knicks, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it ended up being a gentleman's sweep 4-1, right? But if you look at that overall series, New York was never in that series. They won one game and they celebrated like they had won. They did that exact same thing, young Cody, in 2012 when Carmelo was there, and they won a game, and then all the streamers and everything came. Yes. Young Cody, they gave Tibbs that award, and Nate McMillan had to be standing there saying, what I got to do to get this award then? Because that guy can't coach. I'm out coaching this guy. Listen, I'm out coaching this guy, and I'm not even trying hard. I'm out coaching this guy, and all I'm saying is, hey, Trey, when you get the ball, do whatever. don't even care anymore. You shown me what you can do. Did Nate McMillan get mad when Trae Young pulled from 45 feet and hit it and turned and bowed to the crowd? Not at all. And they was beating him, right? Did not care.
So which game did you receive that?
Who? No, he just got it yesterday.
He just got it yesterday. He should. You know what? They should have gave it to him in game 5 when they were down 3-1. They should have gave it to him. I would have been paid. They're like, oh yeah, you deserve some more. You down 3-1.
Yeah, Cody, you know what I'd have done? Hey, look. If they would have gave that award to Tom Thibodeau during the series, you know what I'd have done? I'd have walked down there, act like this is the award. For those of you all, the millions and millions of listeners listening, I have a little stand in my hand, right? So, yeah, Cody, imagine if they said, Tom Thibodeau, you are NBA, the 2020-2021 NBA Coach of the Year. As soon as he holds it up, right? Nate McMillan walk out there and be like, hey, no, bro, this mine. Look, I even brought my own little name plate. He done pulled it off and put his little, hey, yeah, Cody, I even brought my own little name plate. It ain't nothing but the little white tape and say Nate McMillan on it. I just need to put it right down the Coach of the Year. Thank y'all. Thank you. I appreciate it. There's no possible way he was Coach of the Year, Cody. For what?
I mean, I guess because the Knicks got better, but to me, their team got better.
Did they?
Like, I think the team.
Derrick Rose got better.
True. This is also true.
Mm-hmm.
They also got. I think they also got a couple of like Reggie Bullock, Julius Randle, but they got 2 awards, most improved and whatever.
Which, I mean, if we keeping it 100, Clint Capella could have got most improved too.
Really? You think?
Look at what he done this season, young Cody.
I don't know if that's most improved for Julius.
What did Julius Randle do? Improved his scoring.
Yeah.
That's all it takes to win.
That's all it takes to win. Defense don't matter. That's what I mean.
Yeah, because they gave it to for what's his name? The one he not in the league anymore could really dribble. He played for like I think he played for Seattle. He played for Clippers. The one that could really like handle the ball really. They started to check. He got 6 man of the year like 38 times. Yes.
You said he couldn't do?
Have you seen some of his mixtapes?
Oh, yeah.
So look, I would have been. Look, I'm saying to myself, they could have gave it to him, and he ain't even played in 2 years. They could have gave it to him over Julius Randle. Julius Randle just got it because he improved his score.
Okay, so Steph Curry go out there. No.
See what I'm saying?
No.
And now we're here, young Cody, which is why I say Nate McMillan should have been Coach of the Year. Well, no. Nate, if they weren't going to give it to Monty, they should have gave it to Nate.
Okay. I think to take them from out of the playoffs to now number 2. I mean, you had Chris Paul, but number 2, they pretty much kind of kept the same squad. That's I think that's hard.
Yeah, and yeah, Cody, we're about to take a break, right?
Yep.
But when we come back from the break, I was going to talk about Brooklyn versus Milwaukee game last night. I was going to talk about that, but I'm gonna put that on the back burner for a second because I think I'm gonna make sure that you have all the time in the world to cry about the 76ers losing and to give you all the time in the world to bury yourself because you're gonna pick the 76ers tonight and they're gonna lose again. They're gonna go down 2-0 and then you're gonna be like, well, we gonna come back. We gonna come back. And like, come back from where? Side note, young Cody, before I go to this break, people were saying, hey, man, Trae Young better not act like that in Philly. They'll do this, that, and other. I was like, have you ever been to Atlanta? Like the same goons they got in Philly is the same goons they got in Atlanta. So if you do him like that, then they gonna snatch Polar Seth Curry. They gonna snatch one of them goons gonna be like, hey, is that Curry? Steph? Oh, Seth. Don't he play for the 76ers? Yeah, let's get him. Be like, but there go Ben Simmons with him. We leave him, he can't shoot anyway. So he not gonna affect the game. Seth affect the game too. Like, wait a minute, what about Danny Green? Like, look, we only got room for one light skinned person. And out of all three of them, Seth is the best. Really? Because if he is fast, he'd have stayed in front of Trey Young in game one. This is true. We'll be back. So I'm gonna keep us on StreamYard, but I'm gonna stop this for a second. On apple juice, yeah, Cody? It makes your stomach up through.
You start the season. Like, let's just say for 50 games, you start the season. For the last 20 games, you play. You still make
And then one up.
You start the season amazing. The first 50 games,
You talking about Jokic?
I'm talking about the comparison with Jokic and Steph. Because Steph, I don't think Steph played that well for the first couple of games. He only missed 9. I thought he missed way more games. He only missed 9 games.
For real? That's it?
He only missed 9. I looked it up. I was like, it's more than he missed 9 games. It's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Wow. And he started off like that.
So you think Steph should be?
But I'm saying recency bias can play into both. So season.
Should I wait to ask you on air who you give MVP to?
I think they should wait until the start of the game. How dare you give me a another team looking across it. Everybody knew that loss. Sorry.
No, it's not. The guys Johnson, this Johnson game. We got some guys. Ready, Tony? Yes, sir. Tune in Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge, right here on Raise the Praise 100. Make sure you download the app at Raise the Praise 100. And if you can't do that, listen to us on RaiseThePraise100.com. 346-355-0100 is the number to call in. Once again, it's 346-355-0100. In the barracks with me, I got
Young Cody.
Oh, God. Do it again. In the barracks with me, I got
Young Cody.
Young Cody. Hey, listen, before we get into the second game between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Atlanta Hawks, right?
Yep.
Let's stay right here in the ATL for a second because I didn't get your reaction about this yet. So I want to get your reaction. Julio Jones was traded from the Atlanta Falcons to the Tennessee Titans. It's overall reaction. What do you think? Does that make them a favorite in the AFC now?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Because their problem wasn't offense, the problem was defense. Is what lost. So you improved it better.
You don't think they're going to improve in scoring? And if you can outscore a team, you put the pressure on a team to score. I put it like this. The Chiefs ain't really got an amazing defense. They got an all right defense, but they outscore you in there.
Let me put it this way: the Chiefs have a better defense. Would you take the Chiefs offense or would you take the Tennessee Titans offense? With them?
I'll take the Chiefs offense.
So the Chiefs have a better defense and a better offense.
Okay,
are they going to win on special teams? I'm confused. Tennessee Titans, they be in the same position they were at.
So
they're not a team that needed.
Let me ask you this question.
I know they don't got no wide receivers. I know it seems to be a team that I see.
So let me ask you this question. All right? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened when the Chiefs offense couldn't score? Don't worry, I got time today. Hey, we're here till 4.
The defense didn't do anything either, right?
Oh, really? That's what I'm saying. But if they would have been fully healthy, they would have outscored the Bucks, and the defense wouldn't have even been put on blast like that because
I think they were missing a lineman.
2.
They're missing 2 yet, so that's why he was getting pressure.
But they only scored what? They only scored 9 points, right? I don't think they scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. When have you known the Kansas City Chiefs? Not, but they were there. They would have definitely outscored the Bucks that game.
I don't know.
You think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can outscore the Kansas City Chiefs healthy? No possible way, yeah, Cody. You know, amount of time.
I don't think the Bucks offense is better than the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
So what I'm saying is that you're saying about the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Well, we've seen what the Kansas City Chiefs defense did when the offense wasn't scoring. Now imagine when the offense is scoring, that changes the whole dynamic. When you got Patrick Mahomes, leading, going 75 yards in a minute, you know what I mean? Because Tyreek Hill done got you 40 yards and Travis Kelce gonna get you the other 35. 2 plays, y'all in the end zone, right?
Yes.
So now you come back and you put pressure on the opposing team to match you. Well, if they can stop you and slow you down, then they get the ball back and they score another touchdown in a minute and a half. Now you down 14-0 or 14-3. Now it changes your whole dynamic. You can't run your offense like you want because now you're playing catch up. And you know that if you cannot match them in scoring, then your defense is going to be. If you can't match them in scoring, right? If you can't match the Kansas City Chiefs in scoring, then it makes makes it so much easier for the Kansas City Chiefs defense. And I'm not saying that the Tennessee Titans has a great defense. I'm not. Don't get me wrong in saying that. But we watched them be sufficient enough for 2 years playing with really just a good wide receiver and a great running back.
Yeah.
So now, what are you going to do? So I put it like this. You're a defensive coordinator, right? You got to stop A.J. Brown. You got to stop Julio Jones. And you got to stop Derrick Henry, who rushed for 2,000 yards last year.
This is the question. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. We have another.
Well, yeah, he's the Jets.
Oh, really? Oh, two big wide receivers that are like 6'4".
Massive, strong.
Fast, and then we got Derrick Henry, who's probably bigger than both. Wait. I'd be like, who's the quarterback?
Glad you said that. Last year, you know what Tannehill stats were?
I think they were pretty great.
3,819 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Now, right. So now you remove Tannehill's name, and let's just say remove Tannehill's name and put Josh Allen's name right there. Is that a very good season?
Oh, yeah.
How great would they be talking about that? Remove Tannehill and put Baker Mayfield.
Oh, stop.
Justin Herbert. You see what? Jimmy Garoppolo.
What's really easy, honestly, I don't mean nothing against Ryan Tannehill, but it's really easy to throw for that amount of yards. Like that 2,000 yards also. Taking nothing away from Ryan Tannehill.
You were taking everything away from Ryan Tannehill.
I'm just saying, I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill in the clutch. Like, and when you be like, the game is on the line, we need you to go down the field and score. I don't trust Ryan Tannehill.
I can say that, but when you got Julio, when you got to do is just throw it to Julio Jones, or all you got to do is throw it to AJ Brown.
You said yourself you wouldn't trade Julio. I mean, you wouldn't trade first round.
They did. They traded the second round.
Exactly. So has Julio diminished? Has he got better? Like,
no, the Tennessee Titans played the Falcons because the Falcons didn't have any cap space, so they were capped. Like they were strapped for cash. Like they needed money, like big time needed money. Like I think if I'm not mistaken, the Atlanta Falcons were so cash strapped that they could barely sign their rookies. They needed money. So that's one of the reasons why they had to get rid of Julio. So Tennessee was like, we got a second and a 6. They were like, we'll take it.
yes.
See what I'm saying? And I don't even want to get into the people who are talking about trying to compare that trade, the Julio Jones trade, to the D-Hop trade. We won't even get into that. All I'm saying is this, is that if you're a defensive coordinator, right, when you roll the coverage to A.J. Brown, Julio Jones can beat you one-on-one.
I'm not worried about nothing. I'm worried about Derrick. That's what I'm worried, because if you double those two.
So you're going to put 8 in the box and let A.J. and Julio go one-on-one?
I don't know, because
that's my point.
I don't know what you do. Like, I really don't know. I would have to see how their offense looks first before I already know how. I can imagine how it's going to look. This is going to be like one big highlight tape.
So do you think that it made the Tennessee Titans players in the AFC now? Because before
I think they were already. I think they were already with A.J. Brown, Corey Davis.
Corey Davis is with the Jets.
I'm talking about last year.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about going into the year before they got Julio.
But that's what I'm saying. I think they were already like
wild cards.
Right. I think they win the division easily.
Yeah, they win the AFC South easily.
I think they win it easily.
I can see that.
Carson Wentz is the quarterback.
Well, hold on now. Don't forget about that team over there off 610.
Who are you talking about?
It's a team that plays off 610 over there at G Stadium.
Really? So you talking about the team that traded the one of the best wide receivers in the league for a running back who? Don't worry about it. I don't know who you're talking about. I really don't. Who you talking about?
You don't get the Texans.
Is there an expansion team coming?
You don't give the Texans no.
I give them no shot. What Chuck say? Guaranteed. They don't. Especially, we don't even know if Deshaun Watson gonna play.
He's not.
So who is the backup quarterback? I don't.
The starter is Tyrod. The backup is Davis Mills. We still got Brandon Cooks.
Yes, yeah. Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks ain't been good since he was with Drew Brees.
No, he was good after that.
He was.
He was 1,000-yard receiving with the Patriots.
That's very.
He's been 1,000-yard receiver with. Hold on. He's been 1,000-yard receiver. He was 1,000-yard receiver with the Saints, with the Patriots, with the Rams, and with the Texans. You're looking at me like, so you just said all 4 teams.
No, stats are very receiver.
Yes, stats can be skewed.
Who was the other receiver on?
Will Fuller before he got suspended.
Who else they throw? They throwing the one in the tight end?
Randall Cobb.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Kiki Kuti.
You talking about Randall Cobb? The one who bring what's the old people use?
The Walker.
The Walker.
And they got Kiki Kuti. Hey, there will not I will cut your mic. There will not be any Kiki slander right here on Sports Talk with Big Sarge.
He's better than Randall Cobb.
You're looking at the president of the Kiki Kuti fan club right here. This guy, Sarge, president. I can't believe that he stayed in the doghouse that long. I can't believe Bill put him in the doghouse like that for that long. P E to the T T Y. Because I don't think because
the people that they were like Jordy Nelson.
The Texas franchise has made some very with Bill when they had Bill O'Brien as the head coach and general manager. So here's the thing too, young Cody. Let me ask you this before we move on and I break your heart about the Philadelphia 76ers. Look, let me ask you this. Do you think that Bill O'Brien purposely sabotaged the Houston Texans? And what I mean by that is he got the power. Do you think at some point he knew that he wasn't going to keep the power, so he just ran the franchise into the ground, or was he just terrible at being upper management?
I don't know purpose. I think only he knows that he purposely did it.
Yeah.
But I think in his mind he was like, you can't keep doing the same thing over and expecting different results. So let me make a drastic change. Can't trade Deshaun Watson. So let me trade the number one receiver and get a running back. I think that's what was going on in his mind. But then after that, he was like, I lose my job. He was like, whatever.
I think my problem with I think that he got too much power. I think that he got that. I honestly truly
without accomplishing it.
Yes. But so if I had to play Bill O'Brien for a second, right? If I had to play Bill O'Brien for a second, I guess why wouldn't I think that way? Like you gave me a head coaching job when I really didn't deserve it. Like what did Bill O'Brien do to deserve the Texans head coaching job? People say, well, what about his record at Penn State? But what about his record at Penn State? He didn't play nobody. You know that, right? You know what? What's the head coach's name for the Carolina Panthers? Matt Rule?
Yeah.
Matt Rule and Bill O'Brien, pretty much the same person when it comes to getting head coaching jobs in the NFL. So if you go back and you look at the 2 years that Bill O'Brien was with Penn State, go back and look and see who they actually played. They didn't really play nobody. He came there and he helped with the scandal with Joe Paterno and the other coaches, the sex scandal, right? He came to put out that fire. And then 2 years later, the Texans gave him a head coaching job. I put it like this. They have the coach that's coaching them, the defense now, the defensive coordinator for the Houston Texans, Lovie Smith, should have been the head coach for. He should have been a head coach for the Houston Texans when the Houston Texans gave it to Bill O'Brien. Because Bill O'Brien hadn't done nothing. Lovie had been to a Super Bowl. People. Yes. The college football team? They play in the Big Ten.
I can't remember the last time I was like, man, Illinois is going to win this. Who's going to Illinois? Like, do you play in the triangle? I've never heard anybody be like, well, I'm committed to Illinois. Thank you. There's a lot of people on it like Michigan, like, you know.
Well, I'll put it like this. If you grew up in Illinois, you want to play for the state school. I mean, to them, it's a big deal. Like, I'll put it like this. You don't never really hear nobody talking about they want to go to Northwestern, but they do. Right? Am I right? When the last, hold on. Vanderbilt is in the SEC, right? When the last time you heard somebody scream out they want to go play football for Vanderbilt or Purdue?
That's the people who want to play.
Like, those are people that know that they ain't going to make it to the NFL. Let me go get this good job and make friends with old buddy over there who's going to be the CEO of the company. But yeah, so as I digress though, the year that they hired Bill O'Brien, they should have hired Lovie Smith. He had the track record, he had the proven record He had a way better track record than what Bill O'Brien had. All Bill O'Brien had was the Patriots.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? And so the exact same way with Matt Rule in Carolina. Like if you go back and you look at the years Matt Rule was at Baylor, he ain't beat nobody. Even the year that they went to the Big 12 championship, they didn't beat like no top 25 teams. And they got ran up out. I was at the game. They got ran up out of Jerry's World. They got ran up out of AT&T Stadium by the quarterback name for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts. You just said Carson Wentz plays for the Colts. You just said that. But they got ran up out of there by the Oklahoma Sooners. So Matt Rule didn't do anything to get that job either. Just like Bill O'Brien didn't do anything to get the Texas job, but they gave it to him. And Matt Rule is following that same diagram. He's getting more and more power with Carolina. And let me ask you this question. With Sam Darnold as quarterback, do you see the Carolina Panthers making it to? Do you even see them making it to the playoffs? Because the division that they're in the division with the Saints, the Falcons, and the Bucks. Tampa Bay, who brought back everybody, young Cody. Everybody came back.
Yes, it would be easy to third.
Yes.
So they could possibly make a wild card just because it might go like 4-2 in the division.
Well, that's if the Packers don't get Aaron Rodgers back. The Packers get Aaron Rodgers back, you got two.
But there's 7 spots now. I'm thinking there's 7 spots.
Okay, so let's try to see if we can do this real quick. Okay, so there's a NFC North, NFC South, NFC East, and NFC West.
Yes.
Okay, and now, well, of course not. They can't because they're in the NFC South.
Even if they could, they wouldn't.
So let's start right there, young Cody. Who's winning the NFC South? The Bucks, the Saints, the Falcons, or the Panthers? Okay, so you got the Bucks, right? Oh, this pen. So you got the Bucks, right? There we go. Coming out the South. The NFC East. And Washington. Cowboys. Okay, right? So that's the East. The West, you have the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals.
Yes, that's a toss-up.
I got the Cardinals. Who you got?
Really? Cardinals?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm putting mine down, then we'll put yours down. So, all right. So, hold on. You said the Seahawks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They might actually have 3 teams.
And then, and in the North, you got the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, and one more. The Vikings. So we'll just say no Aaron Rodgers.
No Aaron Rodgers?
No Aaron Rodgers. Oh, well, okay, well.
Even if Aaron Rodgers in there, I think.
Okay, so you got the Bears. I got the Packers. Because I think even with Jordan Love, I think that they could still win. Right? Even with Jordan Love. And I'm being serious. Even with Jordan Love, I think.
Without a kicker, I don't see him going anywhere.
Exactly. Okay, so both of us agreed that the Bucks, right? So that's one team, right? The Cowboys, that's another team. That's 2 teams. Seven teams go. You said it got to be 8 teams.
No, 7. Because it was 6 at first. 7. So now only the number 6.
That's right. You're right. All right, and then we got the Cardinals. So do we think that the Seahawks, Rams, or the 49ers send another team?
I think they all.
All 4?
I think all.
I don't think the 49ers get it.
Really? No, I think the 49ers.
Depends on how Trey, what's his name? Lance?
Trey Lance.
Depends on how he plays.
Yeah.
And I don't think I don't know if the Seahawks. The Seahawks could be a wild card, right?
Yeah, that division is also. I think the Rams are always going to be good just because Aaron Donald in the middle a lot.
So we know 2 for sure. We know it's the Cardinals. We know it's the Cardinals and the Seahawks.
Yeah,
are coming out, right? And okay, so if that's the case, there's only like 2 spots left, young Cody. And out of those two
And I was
spots,
saying, like, Green Bay could be that easy. Green Bay could be that easy.
and the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think it's a spot, especially if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. There's no way.
And I mean, if Jameis has if Jameis has a really good year under Sean Payton,
That's also true. Kind of Taysom.
if Jameis has, you'll not be taking edibles on this show. But if Jameis Winston has a really good year under Sean
I don't
Payton,
even think he needs to have a really good. I think he just needs to not turn over the ball. If he don't turn over the ball, then I think
you can count them in. So where does Carolina fit? Exactly.
They should be using. They should be tanking.
Right.
Because they need more.
Exactly.
I don't even know who owns
Actually, the Carolina Panthers' new owner is amazing. He had a perm. He had an afro, big curly afro. Go back and look.
so good.
I'm not excited. All right, young Cody, I'm not going to the break.
All right.
I'm not listening to what the producer's saying and going to break. Oh, no. We're going to do this right here, right now.
I'm ready. I got my typed up a whole dissertation, like you said. Ready.
And you know what? I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, you gonna let me go?
So, Philadelphia 76ers take on the Atlanta Hawks tonight in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Isn't that what it is? We're in the semifinals now? Right? We're in the Eastern Conference semifinals in Philadelphia, right? Home of Meek Mill. They let Triple H ring the bell the other day, and they'd be like, just like his whole career was fake. You talk first about Game 1 getting blown out, and Cody, stop it, Cody. You know that's the equivalent to the Bucks saying that they only lost by 39. Like, yeah, starters here to blew y'all out by 7. Hey, Kevin Durant didn't play the whole fourth quarter, or Kyrie. Thank you. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
The floor is mine. All right. So I honestly think the Philadelphia 76ers could win 3 games in a row against the Hawks. I just feel like that.
Do they play 3 games? Is that how it goes? Now 2-3-2? Now in the second round? It's not 2-2-1, 2-1?
Yeah, it's 2-2-2-1. But I think they can win. I don't know if they can win.
Oh, you say overall.
I'm
My
trying to see.
bad. They can get the game back. They can win Game 6 in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think they'll win a game in Atlanta. And I think they'll win that last game in Atlanta. Like, I think the series will be tied 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be back in Philly. And I think they'll win 2 games. So I think they'll win the series in 6. I think Philly will win this series in 6. But the reason that I think that is, so I don't know if you watched the first half, but I watched
the whole game.
Make sure I control you. I almost threw my TV out the window when I saw Doc Rivers put in an all-bench lineup in the game. Big Sarge, let me tell you a quick story. Please. YMCA, right? I'm the best player on the team. I'm the best player on the team.
So we're talking 2013.
Yes. Yeah. No, longer than that. I wasn't even a teenager. I'm probably like 10. All right, best player on the team, YMCA basketball. I'm the best player on the court. We're still in the game with the team, whatever, whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scoring, right? Mm-hmm. And we're keeping up with this team. We're still losing, but I'm on a roll. My coach takes me out.
Oh, Will.
Listen. I was Ben Simmons with a jump shot. But my coach takes me out, and he's like, "All right, Cody, let everybody else play in the game. Like, let everybody else score." I'm like, "We're trying to win. What you mean, let everybody else score?" But he takes me out of the game, so I can't score. Now we down by 10 points, and he says, "Cody, we're gonna need that scoring from you again." We already down by 10. What you need me to put back in the game for? That's what Doc Rivers did. Doc Rivers is playing this game like everybody getting participation trophies at the end of the game. What are you putting in the all-bench lineup for? Why? Why were you putting in the all-bench lineup? We was down by, I think it was 6, and then they went on a 17-0 run. You're not coming back from that. How you score 17 straight points on a team? Uh-huh.
Danny Green not a bench player?
No.
He's a starter.
Yes.
For who?
Us.
Outside of Philly, who Danny Green starting for? I'm talking about good teams.
I think Danny Green can start for the Nets.
Finish your dissertation, boy. Danny Green can't. He can't play with Jeff Green.
I think Danny Green can start. Yeah,
Over Brown.
Over Bruce Brown?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Easily. Easily he can start over Bruce Brown.
Okay.
Especially if they go with a small ball lineup. Yeah, start. Yeah, easily.
Okay, so what else you got after he put
So
the second starting unit?
So they put in the second starting unit, and the Atlanta, I almost called them the Falcons. The Hawks, they were destroying us from 3-point range. I think they shot like 52% from 3-point in the first half. And Ice Trae was being Ice Trae. He was cold. But he actually went like super cold, like freezer cold in the second half because didn't make a 3-point shot, had 3 assists, 3 turnovers, and I think he scored like 8 points. I think they'll be closer to that than they would this time, like in game 2 and for the rest of the series. I think they'll still be like 30 something from the 3-point line.
So question. Just a quick question. So Trae wasn't as effective in the second half as he was first.
No, not at all.
Due to the adjustments. Right?
I don't even think due to the adjustments. I think they just cooled off. I think they just cooled off.
Yeah, they started blitzing him and double teaming him. So my question would be, well, because they ran him straight up first, trying to put him straight up. But I guess my question would be, so if they stop Trae, then the game plan works, right?
Yeah.
And not for Philly, though, for Atlanta. Because they were still blowing the 76ers out because it's like, oh, well, cool. Now everybody else just take their turns doing what they do, which is the adjustment that Nate McMillan made. Nate McMillan knew it.
He don't want you saying that he doesn't want Ice Trae to go off.
No.
He wants everybody else to go off.
No, what I'm saying is that he prepared for in the second half, he made the adjustment. Doc went in, he made the adjustment because Trae was hot in the first half. We got to make an adjustment. So let's make the adjustment to stop. Dave McMillan said, all right, cool. We know they're going to make the adjustment to stop Trae. Now, Bogdanovich, Collins, Capella, Wirtz, is that his name? Herder. What? Don't you pronounce? I mean, it's spelled Huertas,
Yeah.
but it's not Wirtz.
It's Herder.
Is it Herder?
Like Herder. Like I'm gonna hurt you. Herder.
Not Wirtz.
No.
It could be Wirtz. The HU could be sound. What? Well, okay then. So JESUS is what? No, JESUS is what? Jesus. JESUS could also be what?
Listen, that's 2 different things.
So all I'm saying is that Nate McMillan said, okay, his game plan worked. His adjustments worked. Now, I'm not saying that his adjustment was to take the ball out of Trae Young's hand and put it in everybody else's, but he knew he probably told him, hey, look, they're gonna change. They're gonna send a lot at Trae next half. Y'all be ready. And they were ready.
So I just feel like if you watch a player get cooked for the first quarter, and then you say, you know what, I'm gonna give him another quarter to fix it. Okay. And then you send Ben Simmons at him. Ben Simmons got 2 quick fouls. I would have kept Ben Simmons on Trae Young, not switched him off.
Trae Young.
I think he can. He can hold him better than Danny Green.
He's gonna foul him. He can.
And another thing. So how are the refs gonna call this game? Honestly. I'm not blaming the refs at all, but
just did.
I'm not. No. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. I just want them to call the game consistent.
They're never going to.
I am going to say that in the fourth quarter, we fouled Atlanta so many times, and they never called a foul.
So
when we got all the turnovers, they never called a foul. Blow on Trae Young for the first 3 quarters. What happens? Foul.
So you say you wanted them to call foul?
What I'm saying is, I just want them to call the game consistent.
They're never going to call it. They're never going to call the game consistent towards the people who are paying them. It's never going to be that way. Never, ever. That's what I said. Listen, side note. That's what I told people the other day when the Astros was playing against the Blue Jays. Like, Max the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays was getting messed over big time by the umps. All the close calls that should have been strikes, calling them balls. How many Astros fans you think complain? None. Matz is the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. So the Astros are like nothing. Now imagine if that would have been Greinke not getting those calls. Who would have been complaining then? Astros fans. So it only.
I feel like
So you feel like we got cheated.
That's not a foul. I feel like I always be like, that's not a foul. Like when Joel Embiid did foul sometimes, I'm like, that's not a foul. When they did call a foul, now it's actually a foul.
Okay, so before we go to the break, I got two quick things I need to get from you really quick. One, you and I had a back and forth about Trae Young getting into the paint. Have you been listening to some of these like analysts and people like Bomani Jones on this podcast? You know what he said? Bomani Jones said this on this podcast, and I've heard some other people, some other NBA analysts said the same thing. Hey, if Joel Embiid was healthy, right? If Joel Embiid was healthy, there's no possible way Trae Young would be going in the paint and shooting that floater because Joel would be jumping and he would be blocking it. And his mere presence of being up, you can't float the ball over a healthy Joel Embiid. You just can't. And I'm saying to myself, oh, because when was game one? Sunday?
Yeah.
What's the no? Today's Tuesday. Was it Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday.
Okay, so right? So there's no possible way this was after the game. I mean, this was the next day, right? How you encode it? I just have a question I need to ask you. During that game, you made a tweet, right?
Yeah.
And you tweeted about Trae Young shooting a floater, right?
Yeah.
And I quickly responded on Sunday before I even heard anybody else say, what was my tweet to you?
You said it.
Right? I can't.
I don't agree with
Okay, so how?
because John Morant, I say, has the prettiest floater in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Trae Young scores more floaters than that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just be honest, I think Rudy Gobert is a better rim protector than Joel Embiid. So if John Morant is floating the ball over Rudy Gobert, Trae Young can surely float the ball over Joel Embiid, even if he's healthy. It's a floater for a reason, to get it over big guy.
So
I'm not saying it wouldn't help that he would be healthy, but I think Trae Young would still get the same options of throwing it up to Capella or floating it.
So question. Who did you say you think? You said two people or just one is better protector than Joel?
I just said Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy Gobert is a better rim protector.
Who's the most athletic out of those two?
I said Joel Embiid. But Rudy's a better rim protector.
He's a better rim protector, right?
What's around the rim? A floater.
Hold on. He's waiting on. He'll be waiting on Trae to come to him. Joel is going to Trae. Because guess what?
Clint Capella, because Danny Green not in front of him.
So with that being said, though, young Cody, he's going towards Trae. You know why? Because in his mind, he's like, I'm not going to jump just yet because I feel like I can hold this guy. If he get around me, I'm going to block his shot. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's okay. So now Trae sees him coming, and he's like, damn. So let me just try to shoot the floater. So now Joel Embiid is what? Joel Embiid jumps quicker than Gobert too. Off the ground. Get that up out here. And he only needs to either block it once or attempt it and come in Trae Young's face. All he has to do is be in Trae Young's face. And you know what it's going to be like now? Like, man, that's a big dude. Even if they call a foul, Joel is back in here.
Hard foul.
And he can block it. Or
great Trae. I think he's triple the size of Trae.
And what does that mean? Now I've done my job. That's all I'm saying, young Cody.
you trying to do the jean shorts game plan.
Hey, listen, man. You got to do whatever it's going to take. You got to intimidate him and say, little men don't belong in here. Little guys do not belong in here. So, game 2, what adjustments do the 70s? Oh, wait, hold on. No. Second thing. There's no possible way you could believe in the 76ers after what happened at the end of the game.
You know what? I was actually going to say that. The thing that scares me the most is, you know how many free throws that they made? You know how many they attempted? I think they went 11 to 12 in the first half. They shot 95% from the free throw. 95. You know how many? You know what I free throw percentage was? 63%. And that wasn't.
How many Ben missed?
It was mostly because of Ben Simmons. But Tyrese Maxey missed free throws. Joel Embiid, I think, missed 2. Like, we can't miss. If we make half those free throws, we only lost by 4 points. Could have been in the game when we made 4 more free throws.
All I'm saying is, let the end of the game where y'all got where the 76ers got within 2 of the Hawks is a facade. All that's not happening anymore.
I would actually pull for pressure just get in the head.
I guarantee you that.
They're so small.
I guarantee you that the supposed to be coach of the year, Nate McMillan, has made those changes.
You know what? Actually, if I'm Nate McMillan, you know what I'm doing? I'm saying, okay, Ben Simmons is guarding Trae Young. We're going to run Trae Young off a couple of screens. Ben Simmons cannot fight over screens. He's too big. His shoulder's too broad. But I will say this now. Matisse Thybulle is the best one-on-one defender in the league, period, in the discussion, no questions asked.
I seen Trae Young put
good. You always going to have good offense. But I think he's the best one-on-one defender in the league now. The best.
Did you see what I tweeted on Sunday? I said that Philadelphia 76ers have a bunch of black Alex.
That may be true.
A bunch of guys who play defense and can't score.
That's all right.
It ain't all right.
It'll be all right.
I said, hold on. Maybe you didn't hear me. The 76ers, the Philadelphia 76ers.
You said it right the first time.
No, the Philadelphia 76ers have a bunch of black Alex Carusos.
Caruso played
good defense. You're right. That's what I'm saying. But hey, you play all the great defense. Didn't I tell somebody else this? You know what? Matter of fact, Tony Jones, who covers the Utah Jazz, told him this exact same thing. Because he was talking about how good Alex Caruso. I play him, I start him, and I was like, for what? You're gonna stop him on one end, he's gonna be a liability on the other. Thybulle is Thybulle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thybulle is great on the defensive end. So what good is he gonna do for you on the offensive end, young Cody? So that's only good on one end.
Now this is good for him. From the 3-point line, which is, I mean, it's better than what you get.
The game was out of hand when they were blowing them out. You shoot with way more confidence when you're getting blown out than you do when you down by 3 or you up by 4. He's not taking them same shots. Matter of fact, they're not even giving him the ball like that.
I think tonight will be
Philly's not going to do it.
I think they'll take off and then they'll start doing half again. Doc has to make a decision. Whatever decision he makes will decide the game.
So I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna say this. One, I can't think of what's his name. The guy that's hurt for the Hawks.
Hunter.
Is he out for the series?
No, he has knee sores.
So he'll be back game 3 at home.
Yeah.
They probably just keeping him out so he can get treatment.
He might be back this day. I don't know.
So here's my thing. I actually think that Atlanta wins again tonight because I don't think that Doc Rivers is going to make the necessary adjustments. That's the first thing. I've been telling you that he's overrated for the longest. So I don't think that Doc Rivers is going to make the necessary adjustments. That's the first thing. Second thing is I think that there's going to be a lot of complications in that knee from Joel Embiid. Like they're going to have to shoot him up with so much cortisone. You know why? Because he rested. Right? And then he played game 1. Cody, they played on Sunday, right? Now he's coming back. This is Tuesday. How long did he have to rest before they played the Hawks? Like 3-4 days? He missed the game too, right? So he had enough time to rest. Ain't no time to rest now, young Cody. He don't have no time to rest because now they're playing every other day. So now he just played Sunday. Now he's back playing Tuesday. And you want him to be effective, right?
What happens is like, I forget how to describe it, but it's like if you land on it too hard or bend it too much, it locks up. So my knee would just lock up and I'd be like, oh, I'm fine. And then I go, like, dude, what are you doing? You jumping and doing all this? Like, we have to take 25% of your meniscus out. You're going to have arthritis.
Right?
So I am worried about that. But if Joel Embiid can't play, I don't see it. I don't see the 76ers win the series.
There's no possible that they can't because they got a bunch of black Alex Carusos. That's it. Because Danny Green is not going to be efficient. Tobias Harris checks out. Tobias Harris is, you know what Tobias Harris is? A light-skinned version of Chris Middleton. I'm lying?
That's not bad.
And he checks out just like Chris Middleton. He checks out and then he comes back and then he checks out again and then he comes back. You be like, oh, okay. So, and then once they start teeing him up, he ain't nowhere to be found.
Who's guarding?
I'm sorry. Was he a factor in game one?
We were down by 29 after they went 17-0.
Was he on the court? So what did he do? What did he do? What did he do not to get down 29? He didn't have.
He was on the bench with all the rest of the stars. I'm telling you, it's
Ben Simmons.
I'm not saying we're gonna blow this team out of the water. I'm actually respecting them. I think they'll win another game.
I'll put it like this.
Some of these people are saying they'll win another 76 will win 4 in a row. I don't see that happening.
No, the 76ers are gonna lose 4-2.
So wait, what?
76ers are going to lose to the Hawks in 6 games.
So you think the Hawks will take 2 games? So what games do you think the Sixers will take?
They'll take 1 in Atlanta.
And Atlanta will go 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sixers will win 1.
They'll win the 1 when they come back home. They'll win game 5.
Okay.
They'll lose game 6.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because Danny Green is not going to get from Ben Simmons. Thibault is good if you're going to put him on Trae Young, but then you got to hope everybody else plays defense. And he's a liability on the other end. He's a self-check. All right. Who else y'all got? The Turkish Trigger.
He's not good on. You know what? We have a lot of one-way players. Like if we were playing NFL basketball.
Which reminds you of who? Who? Well, what's that one-way player over there playing for the Lakers?
You talking about KCP? Wesley Matthews? AD? You talking about one way because he only catch the flight one way because he got to get the surgery on? Who are you talking about? I don't know.
Alex, you called him on this show. You called him Alex Caruso.
Caruso, man. Did you see him dunk that one time?
Where he dunking it now?
He looked 35, but I think he's like 25.
I don't know. Where is he dunking now though? On the sticks. He dunking up. Hey, did you think that players like Alex Caruso, when they play with their own players, they add some attributes to them?
Oh yeah.
Because you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, how am I playing as Alex Caruso? He balling like this. Yeah, this is what I really do. You're not on TikTok. All right. But look, so because there's a skit that the guy does this on there. That's really funny. But Alex Caruso probably like, yeah, this is what I really do. LeBron gave me the ball. Look at that. Look at that. I see you over there calling for the ball, LeBron. No, I'm not. The prince is back. Since LeBron is the king, he the prince.
I would say just Prince is very
cook. He's a cook, maybe. He works the stables.
The thing is, I think actually Alex Caruso is a good role player, but
all
he
right,
can get better role players.
I'm gonna take a quick break, right?
All right.
It's a very quick break. So you got Philly tonight.
Yeah, I got Philly.
Who do you have in the Utah Clippers series? I mean, well, who do you have tonight? Do you want to make a series prediction, or do you just want to go tonight?
No, I can make a series.
Who you got in the series?
I think Utah will be 6, but I think Clippers will win tonight.
Huh?
I got Utah in 6 against the Clippers.
But you think the Clippers will win tonight?
Yes.
I got the Clippers in 7, and I do think that they win tonight. But the Clippers, it'll go 7. But just like I said here last Thursday, just like when I talked about the Dallas Mavericks and the Clippers, just think that I think the Clippers have more talent, one, and they have more dogs. And that's not, I don't mean that in a derogatory way towards the Clippers, but who on that Jazz team is stopping Kawhi? They don't have a player on that team.
You said defense don't matter, so I'm just going based off what you said.
Okay, defense doesn't matter, but they can't outscore when Kawhi is killing. Who's stopping Paul George on that team?
Actually, Mike Conley's.
Is he out for the whole series?
I don't think he's out for the whole series, but so might be.
Donovan Mitchell can be stopped. He's a high volume shooter that he don't hit a lot of high volume shots. Rudy Gobert takes himself out.
Oh no, what are you talking about? That's the defensive player of the year. He can't guard on the perimeter at all.
I see what you're doing here. You're trying to make a case for Ben
No,
Simmons.
what? No, I didn't say nothing about.
You shouldn't,
I didn't say nothing about Ben Roy Simmons.
because Ben, rookie of the year, second year player. No, so I see the Clippers in 7. Now, before we go to the break, because after we come back from the break, Cody, after we come back from the break, I'm just gonna straight jump into Brooklyn, and then we'll do Article 15. I figured that I put them on the back burner long enough. I don't want to talk about all these other sorry teams like the 76ers or the Hawks we've talked about the Knicks. We talked about the Mavericks. We won't talk about that. We won't talk about a true team that when they're clicking on all cylinders, they can't be stopped. But before I do that, and before I go to the break, I gotta say this. Ain't no possible way that you picked the freaking Denver Nuggets in 6 games over the Suns. Did you watch the game last night?
I did watch the game.
You don't see Phoenix beating them in 6.
The Suns just got hot. They just got hot.
They're gonna stay hot.
I mean, when you get Jay Crowder shooting like that, Miles Bridges shooting like that, Miles Bridges or whoever Bridges shooting like that, Devin Booker didn't play well, but I don't expect Jay Crowder to shoot like that for the entire series.
Doesn't matter. He's gonna get those shots. And all he has to do, I don't even know how many threes he hit last night. I know he hit a bunch of them. But it doesn't even matter as long as he shifts the defense, as long as you know he can hit them.
It was just always back and forth. Honestly, this is the toss-up series.
It's not a toss-up series.
I think it's a toss-up series.
You know why it's not a toss-up series? Because, to me, for you it is. For me, I'm going to tell you why it's not a toss-up series to me. One, this is actually a series Joker's going to have to play defense, and he's not used to that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, that was nice.
He got dunked on, too. Yeah. Giannis got dunked on, too. Right? But so I'm like I said, Joker's not used to playing defense. Now he has to play defense. He also is playing against somebody who is more athletic than him, but doesn't go for all that jibber jabber that he does. And Aiden is he's not a great defender. He's not even good, he's average.
Really? You don't think I think DeAndre
You think so?
Centers.
So you know what? Let me say this. Let me retract my last statement. I haven't watched enough of his games this season to say he's average. What I watched was in the playoffs, and I seen him do very good on the offensive end. I seen him give some lapse in judgment sometimes, even against the Lakers, even without Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. I mean, he played good against Anthony Davis, but last night, he made Joker play defense, and Joker doesn't want to play defense, and he played good defense against him. So when I'm looking at the matchups, right, like who's stopping the healthy Chris Paul? Nobody. They don't have a play. Doc Rivers Jr. Is he stopping him? No, I'm asking because he put him in a blender last night. He made him turn a circle.
Yeah, I was interested to see because I was like, man, we're gonna get some good matchups. We're gonna get Jokic on Aiden. We're gonna get Michael Porter Jr., Bridges, or Crowder, with Devin Booker, and Austin Rivers. I was like, yeah, let me just backspace that tweet.
And then the Suns got a great defense. Great second unit.
Yes,
their second unit, right? The Nuggets second unit is.
I think I'm gonna say this. This is gonna come down. Whoever can coach this series, I think I think Monty Williams is a better coach, but I think Malone makes adjustments.
Better than Monty?
I don't think so. But
if you don't think
more adjustments when it comes to playoffs. Monty is the better coach. I need to see I don't know. I need to see more.
So this is
I
what
need to see more. This is game one.
to me. This is what cancels out your Michael Malone makes better adjustments. Michael Malone can make the adjustment. Michael Malone doesn't have Chris Paul on the court. So
Also, if Chris Paul played like he played yesterday, it's no shot.
So for whatever Monty lacks in making the adjustments, it doesn't matter. He got a coach on the court. So Chris is going to make the adjustments. So Monty could be like, yeah, but Chris going to be like, no, I see something else. I'm going, and he has that free range to be able to do that. Chris Paul can make whatever decisions he want to make on that court, and Monty ain't going to say a thing.
I was watching the game yesterday with my mom. She was like, have you looked at the Nuggets starting lineup?
No.
She was like, why are these white people on that different Nuggets?
Hey, look, and I think that
I was like, well, some of them are like
because Michael Porter Jr. from a distance, I guess, and Doc Rivers Jr. Now, let me not disrespect him because I really like Austin Rivers. I really like. I'm an Austin Rivers fan.
Oh no, I can't believe he wasn't on the team. We put to him.
Yeah, I'm an Austin Rivers. Who is we?
We, you know who we?
Your YMCA team?
Yes.
You've been like, look, you pass me the ball whenever I'm in the game. Just give me the ball and get out the way. That's you to say, give me the rock and move out the way. Look, Carlton, pass it to Will.
I wouldn't have it.
Man, look, we're about to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a very small, quick break because I'm not going anywhere until I talk about these Brooklyn Nets. So we'll be back.
No. Said they would beat Portland. Portland would beat them. The Nuggets.
They should have. CJ McCollum. I thought CJ would play better.
Yeah. CJ, I told you that I thought CJ was on Bradley Hill.
Oh, because we didn't talk about since they lost, right? So,
No, we did. That's all.
so here's my. You go back and look at that 55-point game that we had 2 weeks after the city of right? Oh, looking at double overtime. The last like 6%, and CJ took one. CJ shot a bad three. CJ had a turnover when he stepped out. What did that say?
That's what it was. He was on the podcast and KD was on. He said, it's like, come on. We both know. He's like, no, but we got to really get we get our players back. Sure, like, okay, let's just say Dame cancel out Steph. Who gonna cancel out me? I say you.
Is that what he told?
No, that's what he was saying. That's what he was. He was like, all right, Steph and Dame. Awesome. With Clay and myself. It's like, look, we got to get. He's like, look, we got to get team. He's Zach Collins. I don't understand. Just say he's out. He's not coming back in the game. I don't think James Harden plays the game.
Say that. I'm right back. It's almost time to get up out of here. This is my song too, Cody. Yeah, Cody. Did you hear what that song was saying? It's the Yolanda Adams song. The battle is not yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the Lord's, right? The battle. It's called the battle is the Lord's, right? So that's in the chorus. That's what she says. The battle is not yours. It's the Lord's. I can imagine that's what Giannis and Chris Middleton and Capazzo don't play for them. What's the other little dude that play for them?
You talk about Forbes,
Him,
Connaughton. That's what you talk that kind of.
Drew Holiday,
Brook Lopez.
the other Antetokounmpo.
Did he play a little dirty team?
He only playing the. I don't even pay attention to him because every time I see him in the game, I know they either winning by a lot or getting blown out. So I'm like, it's another one.
Or
yeah. So I can look. I'm pretty sure they woke up playing that song. Though the battle ain't yours, it's the Lord's. We giving all this to the Lord. Because listen, let me tell you something, young Cody. Right, young Cody. Because let me tell you something. Only the Lord and the angels and the disciples is going to be able to stop the Brooklyn Nets against the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not going to happen, young Cody. Let's just call it what it is. It's over. They beat them last night, 125-86. And if you really want to talk about it, young Cody, really quick, it wasn't even close.
No. From the tip.
There's so many people who thought that, the Bucks, yes. They've been playing around. They're gonna get to the Bucks, and the Bucks going. I was like, well, what gave you that? What gave you that idea?
I thought they could match up with inside, but it seems like they're not even trying
that. And you can't punish them inside because inside is 2 points. When they're gonna come, they shot 50% from 3-point range yesterday. So that's what I'm saying. So you scored 2, they scored 3. After 4 possessions, you got 8 points. They got 12.
I'm trying to think of an adjustment.
Quit. Forfeit.
Probably. You know what? I would probably part ways.
I'll pull my hamstring and say I can't coach no more. I mean, Coach Budenholzer will not be available tonight because he pulled. Look, I want to point to something specific that happened in the game last night, Cody. Brook Lopez on Kevin Durant on Brook Lopez. And Brook Lopez thought he was just going to get the ball, turn around, and shoot. Did he forget that Kevin has over a 2-foot wingspan? Like, you're not just going to shoot over him. Like, you can body him. Like, you can body him all day in the paint. You're way bigger than him. You're not going to shoot over him, though, and he blocked the shot. So what's so underrated when you look at the way Kevin Durant plays defense is he plays good defense. And so here's the thing. I will say this. Going to Golden State taught him how to play better defense. He wasn't playing that defense at OKC. When he got to, because so people always like to discount the fact that when the Golden State Warriors were when they were at their apex, at their peak, when they were that good, they were number 1 in scoring, also number 1 in defense. During their finals run, they were always top 5 defense. Always.
They would just run down the court.
Exactly. And so Kevin Durant learned how to play defense there, and it's helping out now. And so quickly, Kevin Durant is a monster. The role players are stepping up like I told you they would. Blake Griffin has stepped up. Joe Harris has stepped up because that's the problem. They play 5 out. And when they play 5 out, you try to go to a zone against them. Oh, don't worry about it. Hey, Brown, come right here. Come right here and keep taking. And he's a good shooter from right there, the mid-range. In the paint, Cody, he don't miss. He don't take a lot of shots to miss.
Let's be serious.
I am serious.
You want Bruce Brown? I would rather KD shoot over 3 people than Bruce Brown try to shoot over Brook.
Brook Lopez is not, but that's the problem. Brook Lopez is back. By the time they're in the 2-3 zone, he's not playing. He's playing further back. So they shoot him right there around the free throw line. He turns around. That's it. So now if he attacks, then these two, the wings are coming in. That's why Blake Griffin is dunking over everybody. Budenhauser. Budenhauser or Bootyhauser. So the hell, they playing like Booty.
You know what? I think they need to play Giannis at 5.
And hold who?
Just play
Claxton?
You can't have, I don't know, anybody. Giannis is a center. Let's call it what it is. Giannis is a center. So when you get the center of the ball at the top of the key, what are you gonna do?
Taking Lopez out, or you moving him to the floor?
I'm taking Lopez out of the game. You can't
and
play.
put him in.
I don't think you can play Brook Lopez and Giannis in the game.
So here's my thing, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but we run out of time. No, you don't play PJ Tucker and Lopez in the game at the same time. I am a PJ Tucker fan. He's not only KD. And I don't know why they keep thinking. He's gone. He's flopping now. Did you see that yesterday?
Drew Holiday. I mean, nobody can really guard KD.
Ain't nobody hold Kyrie. And just like you said you would play hard until when?
I wouldn't play hard until let the Sixers or the Hawks get a game or something. Get confidence or something.
If the Brooklyn Nets go and win one game, if they split in Milwaukee, you won't see James back until Eastern Conference Finals.
Honestly, I think of Milwaukee, but I think they're more destroyed. They're like, we just got blew out in 2 games.
And they can't come back because they can't shoot. Middleton can't shoot the 3. And listen, they was like, oh man, Forbes and all them can shoot. Yeah, they can shoot against when they're playing against Miami. Because Miami ain't gonna match them, and Miami doesn't play that type of defense. Now, I'm not saying that the Brooklyn Nets are great defensively, but they can stay in front of you, and especially in front of people who can't shoot. Middleton can't shoot.
I don't know. He's saying, go ahead and shoot the 3 ball. Like, I watched the game the other day. I'm like, there's 3 Nets players in the paint, guarding the paint when Giannis goes to the paint. There's 3 of them when Brook Lopez is in the paint.
Yeah, Cody, let me ask you this question. How many games do you see the Milwaukee Bucks winning in this series?
They're not winning the game.
The Brooms?
Get the brooms out. They get swept right off the floor, put them in the dumpster, take out the trash, but they stink.
Really? Was you saying this before the series started?
I did not. I thought the Brooms would play better.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look, goes all the way back to this, young Cody. One thing I've said, and I'm going to keep saying it, right? Let me put these back on. Listen. One thing I keep saying, and, you're learning. I'm trying to teach you. Like, because, I mean, if you think about it, you go back and think about the 3 years we've been together. Sarge has been more right than he's been wrong, correct? You don't want to give it that. You don't want to give me that credit.
We're not going to record that. I'll tell you, like you tell me, I'll tell you all.
All right, we got to get up out of here, young Cody. So tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter.
Twitter. Cody, you are a great follower. I am not going to even lie. You are a great follower. You're getting better. I just let some things pass. I was like, nah, I don't want to challenge him on this. So then it's going to look like I'm trying to attack him. He's a millennial. You know how they feel about bullying. All right. All my Vietnam veterans, welcome home. Germany, good night. All my active duty military personnel is downrange, good night. It is now time for Big Sarge's Article 15. United States officer Cameron Kinley, come get this work. Do you know who Cameron Kinley is, Cody? You know about the cornerback? I think he got drafted by the Bucks from the Navy Academy.
Oh yes.
And he got denied. U.S. Navy denies rookie cornerback's request to delay commission to pursue NFL dream. This is according to SI.com. The U.S. Navy has denied a recent graduate, Cameron Kinley, a waiver that would have delayed his commission and allowed the cornerback a chance to compete for a spot with the Super Bowl winning Buccaneers. After serving as a Navy team captain and class president in his senior year, Kinley went undrafted in April's NFL draft. The Bucs signed defensive back as a free agent. Kinley was in Tampa for rookies minicamp and was not present 2 weeks of voluntary OTA workouts while waiting for a decision on the waiver. This is Kinley's words. Recently, I was informed that my request to delay my service in order to play in the NFL was denied by the Secretary of the Navy, Kinley said in the statement. I have spent the past week processing my emotions, as it's difficult to have been this close to achieving a childhood dream and having it taken away from me. I look forward to my career as a naval officer and the information warfare community. However, I'm deserving the opportunity to live out another one of my service requirement. Now, you're wondering why I would give this the Article 15 to Cameron Kinley, right? I can't go with you on this one, bro. And I understand. I get it. It's a case-by-case thing. There's been other people who have had their commissions delayed so they can go play in the NFL. That doesn't mean that they have to give it to you. It's the one thing that I was always told, the one thing that I respected. Now, is there a lot of discrimination and racism that goes on in the NFL? I mean, I'm sorry, in the that too, but is there a lot of racism and that goes on in the military? Of course. Is there a lot of things that white officers get that black officers don't get, or white NCOs, non-commissioned officers get that black non-commissioned officers don't get? That is true. They do. It is. There's a large, listen, and I'm not just saying this from experience, which I can't tell you about some experiences, but they just put out a report last month that shows the racial discrimination that goes on in the military, right? So I'm not saying nothing that isn't already out there. So yes, but by the same token, young Cody, I can't knock the Navy. I can't knock the Secretary of the Navy for doing this, because when you signed up, when you put your name on the dotted line to go and play, to go to the Naval Academy, in your contract, it states you can come in, you can play football, you can get an education, but you owe us 5 years after that. Because you were great at football and because you got an opportunity to go to the NFL, hey, I get it. You were great. I watched you. The Secretary of the Navy watched you play every week. Because that's what we do. People who, veterans or active duty, they'll watch the Army play. They'll watch the Air Force play. They'll watch the Navy play. So he knows how good you are, but you can't get mad at him because he said, no, you signed a contract that you have to fulfill this duty. If you didn't want to do this, then you should have went to Utah. You should have went to Montana State. You should have went to Buffalo. You should have went to Illinois. You should have went to Purdue. You should have went to Vanderbilt. You should have went to Georgia State. You should have went anywhere else besides somewhere that says after you finish playing football here for free, because I've given you free education. And in turn, for your free education, you're paying for it by fulfilling your duty to the military. 5 years, you are a commissioned officer, commissioned. You know, you can't tell me, oh, this is one of my lifelong dreams to play in the NFL. Well, was it one of your lifelong dreams to join the Navy too? Because if it wasn't, then what are you doing here? You should have never joined the Navy if you knew that there was an opportunity and a chance for you to go play in the NFL. If you were just going there because you wanted to get the education, if you wanted to get the benefits and all that, because there's some great military benefits. If you wanted the free housing, if you wanted the free education, if you wanted the free medical, then of course. Because here's the thing, you're mad at the Navy because they won't let you go play football. Well, what if you wouldn't have made it to the NFL? Then you would have been over here and you would have been getting all this stuff. So all we're telling you is, hey, we understand that playing in the NFL is your lifelong dream. And after 5 years, stay in shape. Hey, listen. If Tim Tebow can come back after 8 years, 10 years, however long he's been out, hey, man, look, we got height and weight requirements here, too. We got all the best things that you would need to work out here in your officer. You make your own schedule. You ain't doing nothing but PowerPoints anyway. PowerPoints are giving out directions, right? And hanging out at the officers club. You ain't really doing too much. Stay in shape. Go lift. Ask the NFL for, look, you already went to the OTA, to the little mini camp or whatever. You got that strength and condition stuff. Just keep working out. In 5 years, you can go try it again. And if that doesn't work for you, you go play in the spring league. If that doesn't work for you, you can play in the USFL. If that doesn't work for you, you can play in the XFL, CFL. There's going to be flag football. There's something else out there for you to do. But what you're not going to do is try to bully us into giving you a waiver to go play in the NFL. Because guess what, young Cody? If I give you this waiver to go play in the NFL, right? I'm start sweating up here. If I give you this waiver to go play in the NFL, right? And say I delay your commission, what if you get hurt? What if you get hurt and you can't fulfill your 5 years now? What if something seriously happens to you in playing football? So now the Navy's out of it. Well, you just messed us over. Now you done messed us over because he could go there and have a career-threatening injury, right? So he can go there. It's a possibility he can get hit and never walk again. What good is he to the Navy now? Because the only thing that the military wants and requires is that you are ready to deploy like that. Hey, can he deploy? He can go. He healthy enough to deploy? He can go. But So if he goes to the NFL and he gets hurt, now what? Now the Navy is like, well, now we're out of all the money that we could have used to get somebody else who really wanted to fill this commission. Somebody who came here and said, hey, I'm going to play football, but I'm going to fulfill my commitment. You see what I'm saying? So you can't come out and cry and say, this is my lifelong dream. I get it. One of your lifelong dreams was to play in the NFL. And if that was the case, then you should have never signed this naval contract. Hey, bro, I love you. I wish the best for you. I know how you feel. But when I went into the military, when I raised my right hand and took the oath of enlistment, and then I got into the military and I was like, oh, man, I'm pretty good at this sports stuff. I couldn't be like, hey, Sarge, come over here. I got something to tell you real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna need a meeting with the battalion commander and with the with the command sergeant major. For what, Bearfield? Well, what you need to meet with them for? Well, my lifelong dream has always been to be in the media, right? And I really feel that I'm good at this media stuff, right? I feel like I'm really good at talking. I feel like I'm really good at, just storytelling. Sarge, you heard me up in here. I'm a conversationalist. I can get it started. I can go back and forth. I'm good at this, Sarge. I don't want to be in the Army no more. I want to go pursue my career with in the media. I already got a job lined up back in the States. What you think gonna tell me, Cody? Say, go sit your ass down somewhere, boy.
20 push-ups.
Right? Yes, young Cody. That's exactly what he was told. He'd have been like, so in the military, when they say half right, that means you go half to the right. This is what they say. And say this. Half right, face, turn, front lean and rest position, move. That means you go down to the push-up position. In cadence. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3. And guess what? If you're not counting, if you're not counting, they don't count. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So when they say half right, face, front lean to rest position, move. All right. You're finna push the earth until I get tired. That's what he would have told me. Hey, sir, I don't feel sorry for you. I do, but I don't. Because if you wanted to play in the NFL, if you wanted to pursue your lifelong dream, you should have went to HBCU. That wouldn't work either because they didn't draft not one. You've been doing this Sports Talk with Big Sarge. See y'all Thursday. Wait. Have anything else you want to tell the people before you go to Pride tonight? That's right. Huh? All right, y'all. See y'all later.